Hello, word enthusiasts, and welcome back to Hello Word. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me for another exciting journey into the world of English vocabulary. Today, we're exploring a word that evokes images of fairy tales, history, and imposing structures. Our word of the day is castle. A castle is an A2 level noun, meaning a large fortified building from the medieval period. Think of towering stone walls, maybe a moat, and definitely a lot of history. A castle was designed for defense, a place where royalty and their people could seek shelter and protection during times of war. In everyday language, we use castle to refer to these historical buildings, but sometimes we also use it metaphorically. For instance, you might say someone's home is their castle, meaning it's their safe and private space. Let's delve into some synonyms. A close synonym for castle is fortress. A fortress is a building or place that has been strengthened and protected against attack. It's a place of defense. For example, the ancient fortress stood proudly on the hilltop, overlooking the valley. Another synonym, though slightly less common, is stronghold. A stronghold is a place that is well defended and used as a base of operations, a secure place. Think of it as a place that's hard to conquer. An example sentence: the rebels retreated to their mountain stronghold. You could also use citadel. A citadel is a fortress, typically on high ground, protecting or dominating a city. For example, the citadel protected the city from invaders for centuries. How about keep? The keep is the strongest or central part of a medieval castle, acting as a final refuge. Imagine the keep as the heart of the castle. Example: the royal family took shelter in the keep during the siege. Now, let's explore some antonyms for castle. It's a little trickier to find direct opposites since a castle is a specific type of structure. However, we can think about words that represent unprotected or undefended spaces. An antonym could be hut. A hut is a small, simple dwelling, often made of basic materials. Unlike a castle, a hut offers little to no protection. Example: they lived in a simple hut by the river. Another antonym could be shack. A shack is a roughly built hut or cabin. Similarly, it is a small, poorly built dwelling, the antithesis of a sturdy castle. Example: the homeless man found shelter in a dilapidated shack. How about tent? A tent is a portable shelter made of cloth, supported by poles and ropes, the opposite of a strong fortification. Imagine setting up a tent versus living in a castle. Example: they pitched their tent in the campground. Finally, consider open field. An open field offers no protection whatsoever, completely vulnerable, the polar opposite of a fortified castle. Example: the battle took place in an open field. Let's think about how we use castle in everyday life. We often use the phrase castle in the air to describe dreams or plans that are unlikely to happen. For example, building a successful business is more than just a castle in the air. It requires hard work. You might hear someone say, "Every man's home is his castle," emphasizing the importance of personal space and privacy. Also, you may come across castle doctrine, meaning the right of a homeowner to defend their property with force. Let's practice some more sentences. The children built a sand castle on the beach. The castle overlooked the entire valley. The king lived in a magnificent castle. Visiting the castle was like stepping back in time. The castle's walls were incredibly thick. They defended the castle bravely. The ruins of the castle told a story of battles and sieges. The castle stood on a hill. The tour guide showed us around the castle. We admired the architecture of the old castle. The fairy tale featured a princess locked in a castle. So, to recap, today we learned that a castle is a large fortified building from the medieval period. We explored synonyms like fortress, stronghold, citadel, and keep, and contrasting words like hut, shack, tent, and open field. We also discussed how castle is used in common expressions and everyday conversation. Thank you for joining me on Hello Word. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others discover the show and expand their vocabulary. Now, for your challenge, I encourage you to create your own sentence using the word castle and share it in the comments below. I can't wait to see your creative sentences. See you next time on Hello Word.